going to hellfire, that I will not go there, there's so much worship.
उसने दुनिया के चक्के चक्के अल्लाह की इबादत करी.
Then he went to every part of the world and worshipped God.
इतनी इबादत करी कि जितने फरिश्ते नहीं कर सकते थे.
And he worshipped God so much that the angels all put together did not worship God that much.
फिर फरिश्तों का लीडर बन गया इबादत की वजह से.
And then because of so much worship, he became the leader of the angels.
उसके पास इल्म भी बहुत उसने सीख लिया था.
Because he had obtained so much knowledge also.
सब फरिश्तों जिसने इल्म सीखा सबका टीचर भी हो गया.
And then because he learned all that knowledge from the angels, he became the teacher of the angels.
फरिश्ते इसके पीछे नमाज पढ़ते थे.
And then the angels used to stand behind Satan in prostration. He used to lead them.
क्योंकि उसकी किस्मत में दोस्त लिखा हुआ था ना, जब आदम का बुत बनाया गया उसको कहा उसको सजदा कर, उसने सजदा नहीं किया तो शैतान ने.
That happened because his fortune was written hellfire. Then the body of Adam was created. Then he was instructed to bow down before Adam. And he didn't bow down. That's how he became Satan.
Is humanity higher than the angels?
इंसान फरिश्तों से अफजल है कुछ.
उस वक्त अफजल है ना जब अल्लाह को देख लेते, इससे पहले नहीं.
Humanity is higher than the angels, superior only when it's seen God, not before that.
क्योंकि फरिश्ते अल्लाह को नहीं देख सकते ना, जब भी अल्लाह को देख लेता है वो उससे अफजल हो जाता है.
Because the angels cannot see God. And when a person sees God, it's better, superior than the angels.
फिर जो इंसान अल्लाह को देखता है फिर अल्लाह का वो नक्शा ना उसके दिल में आ जाता है.
Because what happens is when a person sees the essence of God, that image of the essence of God comes within on that person's heart.
तो फिर फरिश्ते को पता लगता है ना, तो फिर इंसान नीचे सो रहा होता है ना, तो अल्लाह को देखने के लिए कतार दर कतार.
What happens is that person on whose heart the image of the essence of God is formed, he was sleeping one night, and the angels discover that on this person's heart is the image of God. Then they, in a long road from the sky right down to the earth, come down to that person's bedroom to see their heart. Because they have never seen the essence of God.
तो उधर होता है ना तो मुस्लिम होता है ना, तस्वीर की तरह असल उधर होता है वो नकल होता है.
Like a photograph from the real thing, and the real thing is the essence of that.
इसको मानते हो ना, तो नकल होता है, असल उधर होता है. नकल जो तुम्हारी तस्वीर है तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, असली करेगी ना. यही मानते हो हम अल्लाह को देखने हमारी बात होगी. तो अगर तुम देखो उसमें नकल है, नकल को देखो, असली तो पूरा.
Shahi, in some of my teachings that I've read, that God created Satan or good and evil so that we would know relativity. That we would not, so that we would not know the importance or the love of God if we didn't know the evil or the demeanor of Satan. So without knowing light, we wouldn't know what darkness was, heat or cold. So these things were created so that we could experience these things in our life to teach us not necessarily right from wrong, but by giving us an opportunity to choose, and because we have free will, and by choosing the God energy, the God light, going that way, then we would know it would reflect.
हर एक पूछे कि खैर कि अल्लाह ताला ने हक और बातिल और रोशनी और अंधेरे को इसलिए बनाया था कि वो पहचान और शनाख्त हो सके, ताकि फिर इंसान के बस में जो उसने लिखा है वो फिर चूज कर सके उसको.
So when we get the name of God on our heart, then does that how does that affect our lower natures, like the nuns? Does that just make them go away, or do they submit to that? How does that work?
तो पूछिए जब इसमें अल्लाह दिल पर आ जाता है तो उसका फिर असर बाकी लतायत पर, खासतौर पर नफ्स पर कुछ होता है, उसको पार करता है, थोड़ा कम कर देता है उसमें ताकत.
अल्लाह सारा लीड नसों में जाता है, नसों जाता है.
So they're saying that the nafs is actually located inside the blood, is connected to the blood. And when the name of Allah goes inside the bloodstream through this method, then eventually it reaches the nafs and it starts to become purified. This affect it. So then you don't have to make any effort. It automatically starts to become purified.
इसकी वजह से उसको पार करने की जरूरत है. रोज रखे पूरे बाल करे, काम खाए, उसको
without this method, without the Allah in the heart, without the Allah being chanted by the heart, without it going into the blood, it cannot be purified. But it can be purified without this, but then there are other methods like fasting and worship and eating less, those extra.
हम लोगों ने उस तरीके से नफ्स को पार किया, तुम्हारा इस तरीके से
Now, myself, I purified my nafs externally, for example, by worship and by fasting and by not eating much and refraining from desire itself. And in your case now, I will purify you the other way.
हमसे बेहतर सही है.
Facilitate healing in other people? Can we be channels for it? And is it right to do that? Some people say, you should not do that, you should not heal another person, because perhaps that which is wrong with them is part of their path to God.
सब कुछ ने क्या है कि इंसान दूसरे इंसान के लिए वो रूहानी इलाज का जरिया बन सकता है, और रूहानी इलाज क्या वो हक है. कुछ लोग ये कहते हैं कि अगर किसी शख्स को कोई बीमारी है तो उसको इलाज नहीं करूँगी तो हो सकता है बीमारी के जरिए वरना तक हो जाए. अल्लाह की तरफ होता है.
ये दो तरह के इलाज हैं, तो हम इलाज है, तो मेडिकल इलाज है.
स्पिरिचुअल हीलिंग एंड मेडिकल हीलिंग.
जो रूहानी इलाज, रूहानी बीमारी है, वो शैतानी जिन्नात में होता है, उसका इलाज जो है रूहानी है. बाकी जो जिस्म का इलाज है मेडिकल.
So for physical ailments there is medical healing. That's something wrong with the physical body. What spiritual healing is healing, addressing spiritual ailments like small satans or evil creatures or possessed. It's healing that sort of thing.
So वो लोग बताते हैं कि वो रूहानी बीमारी कैसे बनती है. एक तो ये है कि इसके दिल की नसों में खून जमा हुए तो दिल की बीमारी है, तो उसके लिए मेडिकल.
Now, first thing is they talk about the heart, that for example, the blood clots in the heart, and then for that there's a medical cure.
दूसरी बीमारी है उस दिल की वजह को उस शैतानी जिन्नात में पकड़ लिए, उस वक्त हमारी.
In a similar way, talking about the blood vessels within the heart again, you might find that Satan has taken hold of the blood vessels and the control of the blood flow, and for that is spiritual healing.
इसी तरह ये दिमाग दिल पकड़ लेता है, दिल पकड़ लेता है, बाजू भी पकड़ लेता है, आँखों की नजर भी इजाया कर देता है. आपको पता नहीं चलता ना ये रूहानी है या मेडिकल है. इसमें कुछ अल्लाह ताला ने और एक कश्फ बात बनाया जिसे वो बताते हैं ये मेडिकल है.
She was saying that in a similar way, Satan sometimes takes hold of our heart, sometimes he takes hold of our arm, sometimes our head, sometimes he takes hold of our sight, individual sight. And for this purpose, God has created certain people with inner spiritual insight, and they are able to tell, to close their eyes and then actually check and tell whether this ailment you have is spiritual or medical. There are such people in the world that can tell whether it's a spiritual problem or
किसी बीमारी का इलाज से भी फायदा ना हो तो फिर ऐसे आदमी से रब्ता करो तो बताया क्या है.
Then if you cannot cure your problem your ailment by medical means, then people do contact such people to discover what's wrong with them and they find their spiritual healing.
Is a physical ailment an expression of a spiritual ailment?
जिसमें अगर जिस्मानी रूहानी बीमारी है, क्या वो किसी रूहानी बीमारी